Back here on CBS Sports HQ, where this weekend is packed in college hoops. But tonight, the real fun begins between two top 10 teams and in-state rivals facing off in one of the biggest games on the Big Ten calendar. It's number 3 Michigan and 7's Michigan State. The Spartans eyeing their best start to a season in history. A win over Michigan, and the Spartans would move to 20-2. As you take a look at the Big Ten ranks this season between both teams. For much more on how those Spartans can get it done and really what to expect in this one, let's go ahead and say hello to our own Matt Norlander. Matt, so great to see you. What a game we have to look forward to with the stakes as high as it gets in the Big Ten, because with Nebraska, Michigan, Michigan State, and Illinois all with just one loss against Big Ten competition so far this season, the winner of tonight's game will move into sole possession of first place in this conference. What are you expecting in this one?
I'm expecting an outstanding game. I'm so geeked for this one tonight. I think it is the most compelling matchup of the entire weekend. In fact, this is just the 5th time ever that Michigan and Michigan State have both met as top 10 teams. And when you combine their respective rankings in the AP poll, 7 and 3, that adds up to 10. It's the lowest combined ranking in a Michigan-Michigan State game in the history of this long-standing, fiery rivalry. So one thing I'm keeping an eye on in this one is Elliot Cadeau for Michigan against Jeremy Fears of Michigan State. Fears has been a top 3 point guard in the country. He's second nationally in assists per game. Only Purdue's Braden Smith narrowly has Fears beat. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm keeping an eye on just how intense the game is. A year ago in this building, Breslin in East Lansing, it was senior night. Michigan had a few players standing on the logo near the end of the game when, as tradition holds, and on senior night specifically, which tonight is very much not, players kissed the logo, and there was a little bit of a tiff a year ago. There is no love lost between these two fan bases, and even to an extent, like, there's a healthy rivalry between both staffs. I say that from firsthand experience, having talked with both Michigan and Michigan State staffs over the months and over the years. So it should be a fascinating battle. Yaxel Lendborg on Michigan's side has been an All-American this season, been really, really good. And as I mentioned, Fierce has been Michigan State's best player. He won't be the only guy that steps up big in this spot, but that building is going to be on fire. And we'll see. I mean, this could turn out to be one of the best games of the entire month here, Jordan.
Yeah, most definitely. And we're going to talk about those two guys, too, momentarily. But as you said, most compelling game this weekend for sure. And maybe the most important game in the history of this rivalry, as Wolverines enter as a slight 1.5-point favorite in this one as we inch closer and closer to tip-off. You know, big storyline, Matt, and this one also surrounds the two head coaches. It's the vet, Tom Izzo, versus Dusty May. A very happy birthday in advance to head coach Izzo, who is really at the tail end of his coaching career right now. Michigan hasn't found success in East Lansing in recent history. Could this one, though, maybe come down to coaching?
Potentially, yeah. To that note, how about this? The last 25 times that Michigan has played at Michigan State, it is 3-22. Most recent win on the road was in 2018. Coaching could be a big factor here. And Dusty May and Tom Izzo run fairly different schemes if you actually dive into the X and O's of what they teach and what they praise. It's different kind of philosophies on that end. So yes, when a game is this close, a lot of factors can be. It can be a hot night from one player. It can be the home court. It can absolutely be the coaching. I know both of these coaches. This is a bit of a cliche, but I know it rings true here. Both of these coaches are intensely competitive. In fact, I think Dusty May doesn't get enough credit for just how competitive he is, but there is immense respect on both sides for both of these coaches as well. So you've got Izzo, yes, in the winter of his career, I do not by any means think this will be his last season coaching. And meanwhile, Dusty May, he's got plenty of time ahead of him. It's very fun to see that he was able to revive Michigan so quickly to get games like this, which obviously help college hoops overall.
Not only are we in for some good coaching in this one, but also we'll get to see two of the nation's top defenses go at it. Who do you give the edge to?
Well, I give the edge to Michigan State because it is at home in this specific game. And yes, per possession defense, Michigan and Michigan State are number 1 and number 2 in the country here. With Michigan State, I'll give you their specific stuff, what they've done on the defensive end. They're narrowly ahead of Michigan as number 1 overall defense in the country. Michigan State is the best defensive rebound team in the country. It grabs more than 88% of its opponent's misses. That's really, really, really good, really effective. And good defensive rebounding is good defense overall. It's top 25 in 2-point defensive percentage, is top 20 in overall field goal percentage defense. In fact, you can see right there, top 10 specifically with 38.9%. So it's been outstanding. I give Michigan State the slight edge here, and also because it's got the better point guard in the matchup. Cadeau is a really good point guard. He's a good floor general for Michigan. He's actually been getting better as the season goes along. But any objective viewer would tell you that Fears is the better point guard. Having the game at home, Michigan presents, it's a big team. It presents a lot of a real, there's a lot of real reasons why Michigan could win the game. But it's going to be a narrow one here, and I do think that the guard play is going to be a huge factor in the outcome.
We're talking a lot of team-centric expectations here. Individually, there are a few stars on both of these rosters. I want to put a spotlight on a few of them because you mentioned them earlier, starting with Michigan forward Yaxel Lendborg. What are you wanting to see from him tonight?
Well, I want to see this in particular, and I'm not saying that this has to happen for Michigan to win, but Lendborg, for the first 6 weeks of the season, from November into mid-December, Lendborg was the second best player in the country. Cam Boozer of Duke has been the National Player of the Year frontrunner since essentially mid-November. Lendborg was there. He has actually drifted back a bit from the pack. He's still an All-American. I just don't think he's been a top 5 player of value on the whole as we hit this point in the season. Does he need to have a huge game in this spot here tonight? Because Michigan's very well balanced. It's had some huge performances out of Adai Mera, a big-time forward for them. He's come up big. Perez Johnson, a transfer from Illinois, has been a big factor as well. We've seen more like Trey McKinney, a freshman, come on. In this particular spot, though, Lendborg, who's been a top 10 player in the country this season, is he going to be looking, are they going to need him to have the kind of night where he goes for 24, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, couple of steals, a couple of blocks? He's capable of doing it. I wonder if he steps up specifically in this game, and if that will wind up being the game plan. I do think he's a big-time player. I think he's been the most valuable transfer in the entire country this season, Jordan. I'm interested to see what the tactics are from Dusty May and his staff. Do they rely on him, or is it more of an ensemble attempt here on the road tonight? Another
guy you mentioned is Spartans' Jeremy Fears, who consistently finds success on the court, leading really this team to some big wins as of lately. What do you want to see from him?
Well, I want to see if he continues this run that he has been on, where he has been one of the best point guards in the country. And he has now hit that tier, and this is not an easy tier to get to by any means, where Tom Izzo is invoking your name among some of the very best point guards he has ever coached. And Izzo doesn't say, like, Izzo is a straight shooter, 100%. He does not just invoke things just to say them, just to give a reporter a quote. He means what he says, and he says what he means. And at this point, he considers Fears on the short list of the best point guards that he has had in all of his years in East Lansing. Can he control the tempo? He's a super tough player, a really quality a two-way player, and a good defender as well. How much can he dictate going up against that Michigan defense and trying to set up his own teammates? Jackson Kohler's a big man who's been shooting well from 3. How much do we see some screen and roll actions from him specifically? They've got Cohen Carr, who is one of the elite dunkers that I've ever seen in all of college basketball. Does he get going tonight? It will be a high energy game. As we get ready to watch this, it's going to be super high energy in that building. And typically when that happens, if you've got a really capable and elite veteran point guard, it serves you well as kind of a steadying force. And I think Fears in that spot will come up big. I know Michigan is favored. To me, that's not the right side in this, but Michigan, the metrics have said it's been the better team. I think Sparty should be favored on its home floor. And as I said earlier today on Eye on College Basketball, I do think Michigan State will win this game.
All right, that was going to be my last question to you on this one as we put a bow on that analysis and what we're expecting in this Big Ten clash. So Michigan State sounds good to me. We'll wait and see what happens come tip-off, Matt Norlander. Let's end here.